we also prefer arrays over linked list when memory is a concern. Hello YouTube, welcome back. So this video is about linked list. We are going to discuss what is a linked list, the pros and the cons of the linked list. We have various type of linked lists, out of which we are going to discuss three main: singly linked list, doubly linked list and a circular linked list. After which I'll explain you how the add operation happens in a linked list. We discuss in what all cases linked list is more preferable and in what kind of situations array is more preferable. So basically we can never say that this data structure is always better than this data structure. It all depends upon the requirement. It all depends upon the kind of data processing we are going to do. So in the end, we'll implement linked list using Java. So let's begin with the video. Before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to watch more such content and hit the like button if you like the video.
A linked list is a non-sequential collection of data items which are called nodes. Now each of these nodes have two fields. One is the data field and second one is the link field. The data field is in which you have the value which you need to put into your list. Like in this image you can see 10, 20, 30. So these are your data values which are stored in the first field, which is the data field. And the second part is link field. This contains the address of your next node. This arrow is pointing towards the next node. So this is your link field. Okay. Now the link field of your last node, which will be having 0. There will be no valid address in your last field. It will be a null pointer. So this is how we get to know that this is the end of your list. Now what are the pros of a linked list? These are dynamic in nature, which means the memory will be only allocated when you are inserting data into the list. And also the insertion and deletion operations are very easily implemented in linked list. Stacks and queues, these are practical implementations of linked list which are easily executed with the help of these. And of course this linked list reduces the access time. But along with advantages, you also have some disadvantages of linked list. The first one is memory wastage. As now, unlike array, you have another field which is the link field where you are storing the address, where you have the pointer for the next node. So this is where extra memory is being used. And the element cannot be accessed randomly with linked list. So the access is always sequential and reverse traversing. If you have to go from the last to the first node, that is also difficult in linked list. Let's see what is singly linked list. The linked list which we discussed before, that itself is singly linked list. So this list has node which has data and an address bar. In this particular list, the navigation happens only in forward direction. As there are two nodes in your list. One is the head node, one is the tail node. The head node points always towards your first element and the tail node will be pointing to your last element. Okay, so this item navigation, as you can see the arrows, they are only in one direction. So when the navigation happens only in forward direction, that is your singly linked list. Now next is doubly linked list. Now in this also we have forward navigation, but along with forward navigation we can also navigate backwards. So what happens is, with one data part, this linked list contains two address paths. One address to the next node and second address to the previous node. Let's see what is a circular list. Okay, this is very much similar to your singly list, except in singly linked list, as we discussed, the field part of your last node had 0 or null. But the last node points to your head node. So what happens? The address which is stored in your tail node is not null now. The address points to the head node. So this makes it a circular linked list. Let us understand the difference between linked list and array. So both of these are used to store linear data which is of same type. An array contains continuous memory locations. and the memory locations are allocated at compile time. So as soon as you declare your array, at declaration itself the memory addresses are being allocated to an array. But this is not the case with linked list. Okay, the memory will be allocated only once you are adding data to it, which means during runtime. Here is a table which discussed about the differences. So in array, random access is possible. By random access we mean that if you want the 6th element from the array, or you want the 7th element of your array, you'll go to that index. You can fetch all the elements by their particular index. As you can see, if I go for array of 0, it will give me the first element. Array of 6 will give me the 7th element. So we are accessing randomly, and hence the time complexity is also big of 1. But in case of linked list, we don't have random access, we have sequential access, which means if I want to access the 7th element of the linked list, I have to sequentially traverse the entire linked list. So first I'll take the first element, then second, then third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and that's how I will get to my 7th element. In this case, the time complexity increases, which becomes big O of n. Now, the insertion and deletion operation in array, these take more time because the memory locations are fixed. But this is the advantage of linked list. Here, the insertion and deletion operations are fast as compared to array. And the memory allocation, we have already discussed it. In array, the memory is allocated at compile time, which is called static memory allocation. And in case of linked list, the memory will always be allocated at runtime, which is also known as dynamic memory allocation. So now we will write a code where we are going to implement linked lists. So first let's see the algorithm of the code. Whenever you're writing an algorithm, you are just taking real life things and writing down through code. So just now we discussed a linked list contains a node. Okay, so very similarly we will make a class node. I told you that linked list has two fields, data and link part. So we'll add two attributes to our class node, which is data and next. Okay, now we'll again have one more class with attributes head and tail. So head will always be your first node and tail will be your last node. And now we will be implementing add node method. Okay, so as we'll write the code for inserting data into linked list, so we will make a class add node, and then we will again write a function a.display to display the elements. Okay, so now let's see how we will write the code for this. Let's see how add operation happens in linked list. If you have to add anything, okay, so let's say I want you to add one more list. So what you are going to do is you are going to make a node, and let's suppose we have to add 1, okay, in the end. So what you will do now is, here you have null, but instead of null you will add the pointer to your next node, which was your new node, and in the link part of your new node we are going to add null. So this is how your add operation happens. This is your add operation in linked list.
So whether you will go for a linked list or an array, it totally depends upon the data processing you're going to do on it. So let's talk about the cases when linked list is more preferable over arrays. When you don't know the size of the data beforehand, when you don't know how much data is going to come, how much data you have to store. So in this case, obviously you will go with linked list. Let's say you took array list, and in the first time I am giving you 500 names. So your array size, you took 500, okay. Next time I am giving you 1000 names. Now you cannot go back and initialize your array to 1000. In such cases, when you don't know the size of data, we prefer linked list. Second is when there is no random access involved. You won't go to a particular element and fetch the element. So in this case, linked lists are more preferable. Next one is when there is a need of insertion of items in middle of the list, anywhere in between of the list. So when such insertion and deletion operations are going to happen, right? If such kind of data processing is there, you should use a linked list. Next is when you need a constant time for insertion and deletions. And now let's talk about in what all cases arrays are more preferable. Firstly, when you need random access to your elements, when you might need to get the 5th element, 6th element, arrays are more preferable. As you know, to fetch a particular element, the time complexity is big O of 1, and in linked list it becomes big O of n, as the access will be sequential. So for random access, go for arrays. Next is, you know how the number of elements, you know that this is the size and always this will be the size, it won't exceed or decrease. Okay, so when you're sure about 10 elements, so always 10 elements are going to be there in the list, so go for arrays. And when you need speed when you're iterating through your list, so iteration is faster in arrays, so in this case of course you'll go for arrays.
So guys, now we are going to implement linked list insertion using Java. So I have two classes. One is singly linked list.java and the main.java. We're going to make a class node, and this class will have two attributes. First attribute is data, your data. Second attribute is a node, which will be pointing to your next node. And here we are going to write a constructor for it, and we will pass data to this. Okay, so we have assigned data value, whatever data will be passed to it, it will be added to the node, and in the next we are going to add null, as whenever you will be adding a new node in singly linked list, it will always be your last node. And next thing we need is your head and tail node. So we will be initializing it as null. Initially your list is empty and both of these are having null. So now you are going to write a function for adding new node into your list. Let's name it as add node, and to this add node we will be passing our data. So to add a new node, we have to make a new node of type node. And we'll pass our data to it. Now, while adding a new node, first thing you have to check is if your list is empty. So first we have to check if your head is null. Obviously, if your head is null, it means there's no data in your node. So this is the first ever node. So we'll make head equal to new node and also your tail equal to new node. But the another case can be that already we have data in the list. In that case, tail.next. What you have to do is tail should point now to the newly added node. So whatever is your new node that you have created right now, it should come into the next of tail, and your tail is new node. Earlier your tail.next was having null, as that was your last node. Once you add new node, so that particular node's next part will contain memory address of your new node. So this is what we are doing. Tail.next is your last node. Okay, so in the address of the tail we added our new node, and now our tail is the new node, which is the last node. We also have to write a function for displaying the data. Let's name it as display. So we need a node, let's say current, to display. So firstly, in your current node you are going to put head. Head is your first node. Before displaying also we have to check if your head is null. It means there is no data in your list. It means your list is empty. Okay, you can directly return from here. Otherwise, what we're going to do is we will print the data. So we have to sequentially access. Here in current you place the head, so we will loop through it. So till the time current not equal to null, what we're going to do is system, we will print the data which is there in current, and we will assign the next value to current. So this is how you loop through the list and print your values. So before printing, in main.java, first you need to add something in your list. So let's make object of simply linked list. Let's call it slist is equal to new. Okay. And using the add function which we have just defined, we'll add integer values. So here I have added 4 values. Okay, here we have to call dot add node function. I think yes, this function it's same. Let's run the code and see if it works. Okay, just node. So here's the output.
So that's it for this video, guys. I hope this was clear to you, and see you in the next video. Bye.